welcome everybody to another great episode of Real Life Matters. Of course, I'm your host, DBoss. All I'm telling you to do is to support the guests, buy their stuff. If they have things, authors, if they have music, stream their music, help everybody. Everybody should help everybody build up their network or their audience and stuff like that, because you guys are watching and you're fortunate. Yes, you're watching me. So you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, DBoss Experts. If you have not seen any of the episodes or anybody that's come on and stuff like that, you could just go look. But we have a lady that was been on, and she is a spiritual advisor, an intuitive healer, a life coach. She does so much different things. So she's coming back and she's doing RLM Spiritual Enlightenment series. So what's going to happen is that she's going to be telling us some nuggets and releasing things that maybe you have questions about, but maybe you're too shy to ask anybody or to consult anybody and say, oh, really, you don't know about that. So if you haven't seen the episode, The Power of Crystals, that was one that she did. And well, today she's going to be doing discernment and intuition. So that's a big topic right there for everybody, because everybody's wondering, how do you discern? What do you do? How do you know what's right? What do you know? So she's gonna give us some insight into this. So here at Real Life Matters, we're here to learn and to adapt, and I'm here to add things to your life. So this is what I'm here to do. So with no other further ado, I introduce to you Miss Edie.
Hello, RLM fam. Hi, DBoss. Thanks for having me again. I'm so excited to be back.
I did the love. Wow.
Love
So we got a big topic to talk to about discernment and intuition. Woo! That's a heavy one there. So let's delve into it.
So we're going to break it down, because what does that even mean, right? Discernment, intuition, and, is that called instinct? Is that that little feeling in your tummy when you get those butterflies, or what is it? Like, how do you know the difference? Now, discernment is a tough one, because it's also kind of like a judgment that we have to make within ourselves. So there's a lot of words that are very similar, but they do mean different things. And discernment is just also something that you should probably practice more actively in order to have more control on the selection of what you allow in your environments, and maybe just decisions you're making in your life right now, and even the people that you include around you, because not everyone's intentions we're aware of immediately. So using discernment on how you allow people to earn, whether it's place in that life or to include people in dynamics or plans. But intuition is going to be a very special part, because I like to talk about that specifically. I'm a psychic medium. So this is stuff that I work with every single day. And I also have to discern intuition, because sometimes there are things that are powerful to share, and sometimes you have to discern kind of when not to share things, right? Like, DBoss, have you ever had someone that volunteers an opinion and you didn't necessarily ask for it? Has that ever happened to you?
All the time.
All the time. Yeah, maybe to you guys too. So, for example, an application of discernment would be like, thank you for your opinion. I'm going to put it into the suggestion box, but I'm going to keep doing what I feel guided to do. Now, again, this is in different contexts. Of course, we're talking about positive decisions and, life choices that you're making to benefit you, to grow you, to place you in more loving and healthy environments. So you also have to discern yourself from bad influences or people that perhaps have negative intentions or negative aspects that they're introducing into your space. So by allowing certain, sometimes it's family, it's a little challenging, sometimes it's friends, sometimes it's your job, but using discernment on how you allow things to interfere or to enter your life is completely up to you. And I think it's a very powerful one that we're talking about today. So do you have any specific question that you want to focus on, DBoss? What would be like an example?
Maybe a discernment for maybe the job that you want, something like that.
Right. Okay. So that's a great part, right? Because usually the scary thing, why we always have to kind of push ourselves. And of course, I'm also a life coach. So this is something I work with my clients every single day. And it's to help us kind of push ourselves outside of our comfort zone, right? So there are situations, maybe you're being presented with a job that is at a different competitive company, or you're presented with a different opportunity abroad, or maybe there's something that requires you to move, right? That's a big choice. Or maybe you're considering even getting a promotion within a company. But the discernment is also necessary so that you know how to trust the choice you're making. Now, using your discernment is also weighing the consequences, the pros and cons. Is this going to benefit me? Is this a positive decision in my life? And then using that. So you're kind of having to be your own judge in situations, but you have to trust your intuition. And that's funny how they all are the same, because you also have your intuition, which is the part of you that feels excited, right? Like if I say ice cream, aside from people who are lactose intolerant, you're going to get a little excited about ice cream. Maybe if I say like, roses, or if I say chocolates, those are things that are going to make you feel good. But if we start talking about like, maybe unpleasant stuff like the thorns on roses, or perhaps the bellyache after too much ice cream. These are things that you're kind of like, oh, I should have listened when my body said I was done after the first bowl, right? So there's little parts that it's a simple example here, but there's definitely different ways that you apply this, because your intuition is also kind of like a navigation meter, right? Like, on a car, it shows you the speed you're going on an odometer. So this is very similar. Sorry, the odometer is the mileage, but it's going to show you the speed you're doing so that you can monitor how much fuel you have, right? So we're using these different dials within your system. So discerning is very important on making a choice on like, is this going to benefit me? So this job per se you're looking at, then is this job going to add value? So is it going to have more pay? Is it going to have more opportunities? Is there a bigger scale that you can grow in or move up in ranks in that company? So why would you leave somewhere that you're making a lot of money to go somewhere else to take a less paying job with maybe more responsibility? Does that feel like that's a fair trade-off, right? So if your discernment was kind of like, no, why would I do that? Then that means it's working, because you don't want to be paid less to do more, right? So this is just a quick little example of how you can apply it. Now, if your intuition is pushing you and it's like, hey, I know you need to be in this city and you don't know why, but your body, your mind, your dreams, everything is showing you need to move here, you need to be here, then that could be a different experience, because then your system, like your entire core, is telling you need to be somewhere for those opportunities that are going to be unlocked when you get there. And that's kind of the fun part about, trusting your intuition and trusting and following your feet, whether you're a person of faith or you're just a person who's enjoying the journey. It is important for you to also give yourself moments to test this. And it can be something simple. Have any of you, maybe in your personal lives, and you can just think to yourself too, but has there ever been something that you were like, I knew it, I knew this was going to happen, because your intuition kind of prepared you for it? Now, sometimes it's people, right? Like it's patterns. Maybe people are doing the same thing and you kind of knew they were going to do you like that again, and they did. Maybe your friend that always bails on you at the last minute, or maybe your parents asking you to help every single Saturday, and you know that's going to happen. So how do you trust the intuition when you're feeling called in situations where perhaps you're scared? When you have a little bit of fear, because anxiety is also excitement. It's just that the anxiety is us worrying, like we're little worry warts sometimes. You overthink situations, or perhaps you're nervous about outcomes. But this is to help you get yourself into a place of alignment. Now, again, we talked about crystals in the last episode. So there's some powerful crystals that are really great at helping you stay centered and clearing. We did talk about a couple. I'm just going to show you real quick. Selenite is an amazing crystal to help you stay grounded and to clear your thoughts. So this is just something that kind of helps you reset. If you're having a really stressful day, you can even hold on to it. Some people do a little aura brush, like you kind of do a little cleanse and you just kind of rub it around. I know everyone believes in different things, but it's something that is so special to help you kind of feel clean. Like I know energetically, right? Okay, yes, wash your hands first too. But this is important for you to just have something around so that you're able to know that your space is protected, cleansed, and it's a really good way to sort of remove any negative energy, thoughts, or thinking. But selenite and clear quartz is another crystal that I highly recommend for helping relax and clear your thoughts, especially when you're a little overwhelmed with what ifs and what to do's, because I mean, sometimes we do that too. So it's important.
So you hold that while you're like just so your mind is clear and more relaxed.
Yeah, you can do lots of different variations. I have, of course, spheres too. So those are like, there's different crystals you can even use for when you're meditating. So if you're trying to, for example, prayer, right? Prayer and meditation are very similar. It's just that, you know, religious people call it prayer and spiritual people call it meditation, but really you can do both. And sometimes they literally look and feel the same way, just you might sit a little differently. But it's a really good way for you to make sure you focus on your breathing so you release any tension in your body. And then your intuition is something that you can test and build that muscle, right? Just like when you go to a gym. I mean, maybe some of us haven't in a little while, but if you go to a gym and you're exercising that muscle because you got some big flexes to do in your successful life here. But when you're doing all these different work within your intuition and building your discernment, sometimes they're going to be fast and you're already going to tell, I don't like that person, right before anyone else even knows what's going on, because your energy is so strong at determining, is that a positive energy or just like a magnet? Do you repel it because it's not meant for you, right? Like attracts like, and we kind of feel ourselves pushed away from people. So you might have some people in your life too that, you know, not to be mean, but maybe there's someone, as soon as you walk around them, you're like, ooh, you get that heebie-jeebie kind of feeling, or maybe you're just like, oh, not them again.
Oh, here they are. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, they're here too. Okay, I'm leaving soon. But it's just a simple little side. Yeah, exactly. But that's part of it too, right? You're using your discernment on your vibration, the feeling, right? So if your energy of how you're adapting to somebody or a situation, maybe it's a place, you get a weird vibe from a place, right? You don't like going to a certain place, and that's kind of where usually, like from traumatic experiences, perhaps there's a painful association, right? So sometimes we have a little bit of emotional trauma and circumstances that also kind of come in, and that's why, like, I love working with crystal, like I do crystal healing, frequency healing as well too, to help us kind of move that vibration, to help release any of that stagnant energy, because we don't really understand what's really going on inside. But there are so many powerful ways to try different techniques, which I've also been so fortunate to travel and be able to study so many different styles, and also self-taught with a lot of books and resources that are available on the internet, even on YouTube for free if you're interested in finding a new hobby to check out. But this one is a very powerful one, because the healing that you're able to do with yourself and help open up, especially if you know about chakras, or if you know just about how to connect with yourself, the more in alignment you are, the more open you are to receiving blessings, to receiving information, and being in a open energetic field where you can attract more of what you want, because you've learned how to discern to remove the things you don't from your environment. So it's a very powerful little hidden secret weapon I'm sharing with you guys tonight.
So do you write these things down, or are you just thinking about it, or what
you can take notes? Yeah, you can write down anything. Like journaling is always very important, especially if you would like to also track your progress. Sometimes it's very important for us to kind of like, remember, like, hey, at one point these were kind of the things, like I released this, I let go of that. I studied with Bob Proctor, and his manifestation technique is always to focus on manifesting the future. So act as if now, and that just means like, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have, and what is it that you want? And then it's the same thing when you're letting go of something, especially in healing cycles. Now, different therapies, of course, like professional therapies, use different forms, but even when you're releasing like negative thinking, I bless and release, I let go of anything that's holding me back, I let go of situations or people that don't serve me. And this this is just mantras. This is just little self-soothing techniques that you can speak out loud because there's power in your voice. That's why we have a throat chakra. So some of you may not have been speaking it. So we got to open that up and activate you so that you're able to tell the world, tell the universe what it is that you're wanting so you can call in more of it. So writing is one way, speaking is one way. I mean, even people sing affirmations because that's how much more fun and powerful it is when you get a little dance going too.
Let us throw on the music and
yeah.
I want to.
I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am blessed. We all know that one, right?
I'm prosperous. I'm going to win the
Amen.
lottery. I will win the lottery.
Yeah. Or I'm a billionaire. What are yours? What are ones that you guys want? And definitely share them in the comments or share them and get back to us on our other platforms. We love to hear you guys. So make sure you're also following everywhere else. These are some of the quick little sneak peeks. I do teach courses on how to help you break out of anything that you're struggling in if you're stuck somewhere. Again, these are just techniques that I've used. So I'm not certified in any way. I'm just another self-help person, but I have truly been able to help thousands, hundreds of thousands of people overcome their fears, overcome situations. And with some of my clients, I love to share this because I'm so proud of them. But I've had 4 clients this year purchase their dream homes simply because of the energetic work that we have been doing within, which has helped them attract it outside of their beautiful selves. And I'm just excited to maybe help some of you do that too.
Yes, we would like to. I'm pretty sure everybody has stuff, but sometimes they're a little bit shy to say what they want to do and how they want to approach it. But of course, if you guys reach out to Miss Edie, she's confidential. Things that you're going to do. So can you tell everybody if they want to reach out to you, where to go?
Yeah, please. You can find me on my website, MISSEDIE.com. And that is the #1 spot. Again, I have all sorts of social media platforms. So please only use the links that I provide on my link tree. It's fully stacked if you're looking for beautiful ways to connect. If you're interested in horoscopes and zodiac readings, I incorporate a huge part of the personal development training that I have in the messages so that I also not only deliver some painful truths sometimes, but I kind of help you on how to navigate forward out of that situation. Or perhaps sometimes it's kind of like an awareness of what you can expect. So if that situation does arise, then you kind of have a little, preparation, because I always like to give you a little bit of tools or suggestions on how to receive that, or perhaps the perspective might be enlightening so that you can kind of see things from another point of view, because, we're never able to walk in each other's shoes. So it's always important to recognize that sometimes there's a reason for everything. And even if we don't understand it, this is why I love what I do, because there's always the hidden truth, and it's a very powerful energy. And that's why your discernment is so strong and a powerful skill that you should always work, because you can tell when someone is not being honest. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people who pretend to help you or, scam you. And it's sad because unfortunately, like even for me, people pretend to be me and use my images and videos, and it's not me. But because people are so excited thinking it is me, unfortunately, I can only do so much due diligence, but it happens all the time, not just for myself, but for other amazing leaders and healers. So please, like I said, use your discernment. If something sounds too good to be true, investigate it. Don't write it off, but go in with your guard up always, and may you be proven right, okay, in the way that if it is meant for you and it is good, then may it work out in the best way. But if it doesn't, then may you have that discernment to just know when it's enough or when it's time to walk away from situations that aren't good for you. So I hope that gives somebody a little clarity.
Well, it has given a lot of care, Miss Edie. And, it's been a pleasure going through talking today about discernment and intuition. So I hope everybody's gotten enlightened. If they want to know a little bit more, they can always reach out to Miss Edie. Just let us know like what you don't understand, or if you want to have things. But I do want to thank you, Miss Edie, for coming on this episode of Spiritual Enlightenment, RLM, the segment. And you're going to sing a lot more of her telling us some real good nuggets in your life. So everybody, I do want to thank the viewers for watching RLM Spiritual Enlightenment and Real Life Matters. So everybody, so good night and bye for now.